Stories are God working in mysterious ways. My name is Osatumebi, and every week I will tell you a short story written by a Nigerian writer or author. That's the long and short of it. So without much ado, this week's story is by Chidinma Nnalue, and it's titled The Pilgrimage. Iyarisika was the most popular food seller in Ileja. Every day, she sat down surrounded by huge pots and coolers, dishing out meals to customers while giving orders to the girls who worked for her. Girls who wrestled with mortars full of yam. Girls who stirred pots of boiling assortments or orishirishi steeped in oil. Girls whom Iyarisika later accused of bringing her bad luck because it was the day after she paid their salary that government officials fulfilled their year-long threat of coming to hew down shops that were on the government road. Well, it was those new girls that I employed. They're the ones that brought me bad luck, was the answer she gave everyone who asked what had happened to her shop. But that was 6 months ago. Now, she sat at the far back of the danfo, her grandson, Tesbiu, propped on her lap, while they waited for other passengers to board. Tesbiu sneezed, and Iyarisika placed a hand on his back, rubbing it gently. Tesbiu was turning out to be such a smart chap at school and a good helping hand at home. Iyarisika remembered how angry she had been with Risika when she got pregnant. Now, that same baby was Iyarisika's closest companion. And today again, he was going with her to Madame's house. She would give him little tasks to do so that they could finish the work faster. She still had people to beg money from today. She needed to. Just then, a woman opened the door to the front seat of the bus and sat close to the driver. Iyarisika didn't hear what the woman said, but the driver's response was loud enough. "Hey, no worry, I'll go carry you." The woman seemed to sigh in relief at those words. Did something happen to her car somewhere? Iyarisika thought. She does not look like the Danfo type, she mused. Unless the fine-looking lady was one of those people who led fake lives in this Lagos. One of those people who moved from place to place, claiming they needed help. People who claimed they had lost their money and begged assistance to get to their destination. People like Iyarisika. Tesbiu looked out the window, watching the yellow buses zoom past, while Iyarisika pulled a thread off the collar of his shirt. "Wagada ni garage, Wagada!" The conductor continued to call. Soon enough, other passengers trickled into the bus. "Madam, abeg, shift small." It was the heavy-set woman beside Iyarisika who spoke. "The two of us na orobo," Iyarisika said, smiling. The other woman did not smile back. So Iyarisika pressed herself closer to the wall of the bus to make room. She would oblige the woman, because she might just be the one God will use to pay her bus fare today. Fully loaded, the bus made its way down the tarred road, and almost immediately, the conductor started to ask for his money. "Where?" he asked the first passenger. "Yes, auntie, I beg your money," he asked the next. "Money for front," he beckoned to another. Before he got to her, Iyarisika tapped the woman close to her lightly. "Hey, auntie, please, I am going far. Please, can you please help me with transport?" The woman shook her head without shifting her gaze from the game she was playing on her phone. Iyarisika turned and asked the woman in front of her. As the woman pressed a 200 naira note into her palm, she said, "Thank you very much. Ọlọ́run má bùkún fún ẹ." She handed the money to the conductor. Then, she moved on to other passengers, telling them that she was still going far. Iyarisika recognized some of the stares she got. She knew those eyes frowned at what she was doing. But then this was Lagos. Nowadays, many people did what she was doing. Besides, she had her reasons. Good reasons, too. Holy reasons, in fact. Couldn't they see she looked better than a street beggar ever could in her Iru and Buba? A woman like her deserved a break and a place to go to other than remain in a small Nigerian town year after year. That was why she needed their money in the first place. "Bagara," the conductor called, breaking into Iyarisika's thoughts. "Oh wow," she responded. As the bus came to a stop, she held Tesbiu and they alighted. They would walk for a few more minutes, then go into the compound with the big white gate, knock on the door of flat 5, respond to Madame's "Who is that?" before being let in. Iyarisika and the boy would get to work, scrubbing and cleaning. The aroma from the meals Iyarisika would prepare would have Madame smiling in satisfaction. Then, they would go from the house to a bus stop where Iyarisika would beg for more money while holding Tesbiu's hand tightly. This was her new life. And if it could fund her dream of going to Hajj this year, it seemed like a perfectly okay life. "Iyarisika, oh my rara, you are not wise at all. So you mean that after losing your shop, you still want to go to Mecca? You still want golden teeth so you can show everyone in the village that you are something? So that they can call you Alaja Abi? Alaja without 1 naira. Sure." It was Baba Risika who was talking and teasing her. Iyarisika was sure that the neighbors would soon tell their children to hush while they pinned their ears to the wall, straining to hear. "Wo, Baba Risika, má fi ẹnu rẹ sínú ọ̀rọ̀ yìí," she said. "Don't you just put your mouth in this matter, oh," she repeated, shaking a finger at him. "If person fall, shebi he go rise again," she said. "Wo, me I will attend that village meeting, and I will go there with photos from Mecca and 2 golden teeth." She paused to catch her breath. "After me, I have told everybody last year that I will be the talk of the town. Walai, Baba Risika, no put sansa inside my garri, yo. Don't do it," she warned. "Hey, let me hear what, Joe. Isokuso," Baba Risika replied. "Nonsense," he said again before leaving the room. Iyarisika bit her lip. How could she have been so careless? He had walked into the room right after her call with Mama Tobi, her best friend, who had agreed to send her some money. She could never lie past Mama Tobi. At first, Iyarisika had said she needed the money for Risika, whose husband had started acting funny. But when Mama Tobi demanded the truth, Iyarisika had confessed that she needed money to go to the Hajj pilgrimage. Baba Risika could shout all he wanted. She needed to do this for herself. What sensible Muslim woman doesn't want people to call her Alaja, eh? Iyarisika asked no one in particular. Well, if no one else did, she wanted to be called that. Mama Tobi had promised to send her a sufficient amount. She didn't say how much, but Iyarisika trusted her friend. Mama Toby herself could understand the desire because she was the one who had first planted stories about how every Muslim needed to visit the holy city. Ah, God, if you can do this for me, I will be so thankful, Iyabisika said, rubbing her hands together in supplication. 1 more month and she'd be on an aircraft out of the country, out to the vast world that God had made, out to see that city called Mecca. And to pray too. Of course, she would pray as well. For now, she needed to work harder. This begging was bringing in quite a lot. She just needed to put in extra effort. She had survived many things. She could win at this one too. And Baba Risika would not stop her shine. Never. She couldn't care less about him. There was no work to go to today, so she could sleep in and rest a bit. But before then, she needed to count her money. It had become like a ritual, counting the money and willing it to increase each time she counted it. But as Iyarisika dipped her hands into her bag of clothes, she could not find the big green tin of Milo where she had stuffed all her earnings. She turned over the bed, searched the cupboard and in between the few books that were in the house, yet nothing. It could not be Baba Risika. Did he know about the money? No. He couldn't have known where it was. Suddenly, her mind went to Benga, her youngest child. He had left the house that morning unusually chirpy, saying he would return home with some good news. Ha! Where was her phone? Could it be him who had taken her 80,000 naira? Was it Benga? Or was it Baba Risika? It had to be one of them. Where is that stupid phone? She cried, pushing a chair out of the way. If it was Benga, she knew what all her money, all her labor would go into. And even now, she could hear his voice, loud and confident in the lottery shop, gambling 1 naira after the other. Hey, Olubenga! Iyarisika moaned, put both hands on her head, paced the room, paused, interlocked her fingers and slammed them over her bosom. As her eyes welled up, she screamed, Mogbe! Hey, Benga ti pa mi o! Chidinma Nnalue is an emerging writer from Lagos, Nigeria. She loves stories, journals, and YouTube interviews. When she's not bent over her laptop writing content at her 9 to 5, you will find her sneaking stories into her phone's notebook app. Connect with Chidinma on Instagram at Chidinma_Vivian. Details and links will be in the episode description. If you've got a story you would like to be featured on this podcast, or a published book you want to make into an audiobook, send an email to info@osadumebi.com or send me a message at Osadumebi on either Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or X. I look forward to collaborating with you. And if you've enjoyed this week's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and tell someone, everyone, that stories are a good escape for a few minutes each week.